If you're looking for the cheapest coins in Madden 23, head over to AOEAH.com. They are fast and reliable. And make sure to use code WOLF for 3% off. Link is in the description. Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to go over the coaching adjustments. I like to do this kind of video like once a month just to keep you guys updated on if there are any changes. And for the new people that joined the channel that haven't seen what kind of coaching adjustments we use in this game. Now, before we get into it, drop a like if you don't mind. Become members, get access to the schemes. You see the stuff that I use on my gameplays to go on high win streaks. It works. It's incredible. Make sure you take advantage of it. There's more to come. All right, so this is not playbook specific. This is just coaching adjustments that you should be using in your gameplay. And we're going to start on the offense first. And right now you'll see deep pass catching. You'll have it on balance, which is standard gameplay conditions apply. And with the way Madden 23 is right now, the aggressive catching, the high ball aggressive catching is very overpowered. So you got someone like in regs, like Mike Evans, you're going to do a lot of work. If you high ball an aggressive catch, you'll probably come down with it more times than not. So you can leave that on balance, or you can always go to aggressive, which always triggers an aggressive catch attempt. So right now in this Madden, you probably want to set this to aggressive just to see if you can get a little bit more on top of what's already overpowered in this game. Now, intermediate pass catching, you can do aggressive, which AI receivers will attempt a rat catch or aggressive catch, but the con increases chances of ball being knocked out. So I wouldn't touch this right here. And in conservative, AI receivers will attempt a possession catch, decreases run after catch chance. So if you're afraid to get hit stick, which happens a lot if you're playing someone like Wagner and you're throwing over the middle and he's there, you don't want to get hit stick by him because you're going to drop the ball. Okay, so you can use conservative, or you can just keep it on balance. I usually keep these on balance right now. And the blocking, don't even touch that because they'll call penalties on you. So just leave that alone. And then right here is very important that you understand this, because if you're facing a Wagner or you're on a higher win streak, you want to change this ball carrier to conservative. Now, the con with this is you can't do any special moves, no crazy spin moves, no jukes. So if you want to look pretty, you can by changing this to balance and leaving it there so you can do the moves. However, I'm telling you guys right now, you're going to fumble the ball in the worst situations possible, and you can eliminate that by going to conservative and really not having to worry about it. And then if you're in the red zone, like at the 1 or the 2, and you need a touchdown, it's late game, you can take your chances with aggressive. So the pro is higher chance of triggering auto break tackles and then increase the fumble chances. So you take a risk, but if it's one of those situations where you got to get in the end zone, you can use aggressive. I tend to lean a lot more on the conservative side for my gameplays. That's just how I do it. Okay, so let's just get out of the offensive side. Let's go to the defense so you guys can actually see what I'm doing on my defense. Okay, so on defense, when I run my man blitzes or any kind of blitz in this game, I always turn the auto flip defensive play call on. If you're newer to Madden, I send it to off. My apologies. If you're newer to Madden, you want to leave this on, because if you're running a cover 3, you want to make sure your middle third is aligned properly to the defense. Okay, so having this on, the CPU will flip your defensive play to best match the offensive formation. If you're more advanced in Madden, you can turn this off and you'll know exactly what's going to happen with your defense or what the weak side of it is, especially in the cover 3 if your inside thirds on the wrong side of the field. So if you're newer, leave this on. If you run cover 3, I would just say leave this on regardless, so you can make sure that your blues and your people are lined up properly. Now on auto alignment, when I run blitzes, I always go to base. I just never set it this way because sometimes I don't want to run base. Sometimes I do. Sometimes when I'm running my DB strike from the quarter defense, I'll leave it stock, like if I'm running against a tight formation. But if I'm running against a spread formation, I base align just to give a different look to my opponent. Now the base defenders will align according to their base formation position. So let me show you what base looks like. If we come over here to the, let's just do nickel. You see where all the blue dots are right now, especially in the play art? That is their default position. Okay, so if you have it set to nothing, you don't have it on base, these guys will align properly to the offense. They will set in their certain positions and line up with receivers or the strong side of the field or whatnot. But if you put it on base, no matter what the offense comes out in, these guys are going to go right where these X's and dots are. They're going to go exactly to that spot every single time. Now the benefit of that is disguising defense. So if you're running a cover 3, but you want to make it look like a cover 2, which this looks like the base look is a cover 2, they will look like a cover 2 and you won't give your cover 3 away, because there's different ways to tell certain defenses. And you have to be careful, because if you're running man defense, then your defenders get scrambled up. So make sure you're aware of that for that. And then you have man align. So if you're running a zone, You can set this to man align. It'll look like you're running man defense, but your guys will drop into zone. Now you got to be careful with that because Madden 23 is a buggy mess. And if you do this and you come out defense, sometimes your zones are scrambled and they're inverted and backwards, and your curl flat from the right side is going to run across the left side of the field going to the other side. So I wouldn't recommend doing that either. I typically run default and base. I never really run man, but you can test it out, try it with your defensive scheme and see what works out for you. Now, ball in the air defense, I say this is crucial and key since aggressive catches are very powerful this year. My thing for this right here is to either play receiver or swat ball. You're not going to get the picks, but you'll get the AI attempt a swat in two-man catch situations, because what people are doing now is they're not clicking on to try to pick the ball in an aggressive catch situation. They're letting the AI do it. So you can set this to swat ball and just have people, defenders flying. You can, double someone up. So if you have a Mike Evans going on a streak, you're running a cover 2 and you're in a man, you're running a cover 2 man. You'll have the man D and you have the deep pass, both attempting to try to swat the ball to prevent him from catching that deep pass. You can have him play receiver. AI will play the receiver in two-man catch situations, which you have to be careful. However, in Ultimate Team, I think height is more crucial than anything else. I would stay away from play ball if you're running man defense. You can run it in zone defense, because if you're running play ball and you're in man and someone runs a drag and there's nobody on that side of the field, your defenders will get caught in a pick animation. If they miss that pick, it's pretty much a touchdown. So be careful with that. Typically run that in zone. Cornerback matchups, you can set this by speed, but remember, height is key in this game. It's not like it used to be. Okay, so be careful with this adjustment. That's why I barely run it anymore. You can do it by height if you're in the red zone, or you can just do it in general by height to try to prevent the aggressive catches if you're running zone. So that's something that you can do. You can do route running. However, I don't use that one, and I don't use depth chart. It's either by speed or by height. Pretty much that's it. And I don't do by overall either. Option defense. If you're facing someone that's running with the quarterback, faking the handoff, and your defenders are getting faked out, switch this to conservative. When someone runs the ball on me one time with their quarterback, I switch this to conservative, and I just leave it there. It focuses on the QB on the option. Dive and pitch left option, or they're open on the option. So if he's handing the ball off to his running back, then obviously he's going to get some yards. But if you're running a defense that stops the run, you don't have to worry about that. So leave this on conservative, run a cover 4 quarters defense, and you're going to be good to go. Or you can run a cover 4 drop because of the run fits and the way they react against the run play in Madden 23. Now, strip ball, I really don't use this, but you can set it to aggressive if you need a turnover late in the game. You need the ball back. You need to just try something. You can try to put that on aggressive and see if it works out for you. And then you have conservative. So lower break tackle chances, you probably want to use it if you're facing someone like Derrick Henry, someone that runs the ball out. You just need to get tackles. They won't attempt to strip, but they will try to tackle him and have a lot more success doing it. And then tackling, like I said, conservative, you can do that as well if you're doing Derrick Henry. So sending these two right here to conservative will slow down the run game a lot. However, you're not going to get turnovers, which you really don't need turnovers in this game if you're playing it right, because it's rare that you will get a turnover. You know what I mean? But it's up to you. Sometimes you get a good hit stick, boom, they're going to drop the ball. Now, the most important parts of this game are going to be right here. So zone drops your flats during pre-play return. Zone drops to default by using the reset play audible or the sticks coverage adjustment. So right here in default, they go back to where they're supposed to be, but you can set these. So your flats are your outside defenders playing on the close to the sideline. They can either drop low or drop back into coverage. You can set them at 5. They'll drop 5 yards back, 10, 15. You guys get it. They go up the field. These are your flats, okay? So curl flats, clouds, soft squats, hard flats. And then actually not your curl flats. Your curl flats have their own. So your curl flats can go do the same thing. So if you're running a Mabel, you can run a flat. What I would recommend is a curl flat to 5 and then your flats to about 20. This would be a really good idea for a Mabel where you set a cloud flat to go 20 yards back, and then you set a curl flat. Now, this is a good adjustment and setting to use for flood concepts and stuff like that. People try to attack the sidelines with corner routes. You can use these. They work really good. And then your hooks are your yellows in the middle of the field, your zone drop. So if they're passing underneath a lot with drags or they're hitting their running back on a little small curl route, you can set this to 5. These guys will sit low in their defense. Then you can drop them further back, 10, 15. If they're hitting a seam route or they're going over the top of your linebackers in the backfield, running like a dig or something like that, you can set these higher if you want. Zone coverage, you can set this to match. The zone defenders read the routes of the receivers to determine coverage responsibilities. You're running match defense, you set this to match. You can run it in cover 2, cover 3 and see if it works out. I know some people say that it works, and some people say in their defense it doesn't work. So it's one of those, test it for yourself in your own defense that you like to use and see what it does. Pretty much that's where we're at. So these are pretty much the setups, things that I wanted to go over with you guys. Sorry I was talking fast. I just didn't want to make the video too long because I know a lot of people don't have 20 minutes, you know what I mean, to try to watch a video. So take this all in, learn from it, practice it, lab it up. If you're new to Madden, stick to the channel because I got all the stuff you need to win your games, man. Love you guys, man. Peace.